This is so stupid. I'm gonna be so... I don't care.
Didn't I make you laugh? Didn't I make you smile?
Hi friends, it's Rory, and today I'm gonna get in trouble. I feel like now I'm just copying my friend Laurel, who's a great booktuber, and I'm gonna link her in the description. She's awesome. She just did the Unpopular Opinions tag, and I was just like, I'm gonna copy that, except I decided not to do the tag because then it would just be 3 videos in a row of me doing tags, and not to say that tags are bad, but I don't want to be a one-trick pony. So instead, I'm just gonna throw my unpopular opinions out into the void, because like all of these things that I've said are things that I'm very passionate about, but I'm just like, I'm gonna get in trouble. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into some unpopular opinions. Unpopular opinion number 1, the Harry Potter movies are not that good. The older I get, the more I realize that the Harry Potter movies are not good. I think the best Harry Potter movies are 1 and 2, because they match most to the actual book, but something in 3, specifically the fact that they don't mention the Marauders like at all, just rubs me the wrong way. And then after that, David Yates starts to direct, and anyone who knows me in real life knows how much I freaking hate David Yates. They changed too many things. The relationships are all not great. Like, Ron throughout the entire... I'm not the biggest Ron fan, don't get me wrong. I very easily hold grudges. And so I still have a grudge for Ron from the 4th book. And I know people are going to be like, but he changed. Yeah, okay, but for those couple of weeks, he was being a real dickwad. And I am still bitter about it. But like, even then, Ron was just comedic relief in the Harry Potter movies. I personally don't think Emma Watson was that great of a choice for Hermione. I think she was high-key too pretty for her, and that's not saying that I think Hermione from the books was not pretty. I think Hermione from the books should have looked like a real person, and freaking Emma Watson looks like a supermodel at all points. Along with that, like, the color palette is just extremely boring, and once like movie 5 starts, it's like grays and dark blues, and I'm like, it makes me depressed. Ugh. Unpopular opinion number 2, the Hunger Games are not good books, with the exception of 1. And even then, 1 is on the upper side of mediocre. In my opinion, the first one is okay. Like, solid, 3.5, 4 out of 5. It's okay. But then the second one came out, and the plot doesn't even start until like the last third, really, and it's boring, and then it goes way too fast in the second one, and the characters... Here's the saving grace about the second Hunger Game, is the characters that are not the main 3 of Katniss, Peeta, and what's his name? Gale? I don't even remember. I don't care to remember. But every other character but them is better than them, and I don't want to have to read about Katniss. The third one, while slightly better than the second one, the ending was just straight up disappointing. Once again, I don't care about Katniss. That being said, I am kind of excited about the new Panem book that's coming out next year, because maybe I'll actually like a Hunger Games book that's not about Katniss. All the Hunger Games fans are gonna come at me. I can feel it now. I can feel it. They're gonna be like, "You're boring," and I'm gonna be like, "Yeah." While we're on the subject of controversial books from my early teens, Bella Swan is not a bad character. You guys just hate female teenagers. I don't know why, in my heart of hearts, I just feel like she deserves better, because everyone's just like, she's boring, she's, she's dumb, she's the dullest character in Twilight. Yes, it's because she is a 17-year-old girl surrounded by vampires who have much more interesting stories than her, because she is a normal 17-year-old girl. That being said, her character is honestly not bad. She stands up for herself. She's very, she gets mad easily, and she like realizes that in herself, and she's honestly high-key very funny. Like, there's a part where Jacob is the worst character in the Twilight series, don't at me. It's like, Edward's a vampire and I'm a werewolf, and Bella legitimately goes back and she's like, okay, and I'm a Virgo, what about it? And that's funny. So Bella's not that bad, y'all are just mean. You know what? For the next unpopular opinion, we're gonna go back to Harry Potter. Harry Potter should have ended up with Luna Lovegood. There, I fucking said it, and I'm right. This is my most like passionate that I am about anything Harry Potter related, because don't get me wrong, I love Jenny. As you heard me earlier in this video, I defended her. She's a good character. And do I mind that she ended up with Harry? No, in the long run, not really. It's whatever. I don't really care, because I do like Jenny and Harry together, especially in fan art. If I can find, there's one fan artist who I cannot remember the name. I'm gonna pop up some fan art right now. But like the way that she draws the relationship between Jenny and Harry legitimately is half of the reason why I feel strongly about the Jenny Harry ship. But Luna was the one person in the entire Harry Potter series who never treated Harry like he was anything special. And they treated each other like normal persons, and they understood each other in a way that no other character in Harry Potter did. And also, this is just off of it, like not even to do with their characters or anything, they just look good together. But anyways, Harry and Luna should have ended, point blank, don't at me. Don't at me. Ooh, let's go to one that I've said on this channel before and I still feel very strongly about. Cinder and Kai are the best relationship in the Lunar Chronicles. There's no need to fight me, it's just true. Here's the reason why. A whole bunch of people believe that they are insta-love, and that could not be further from the truth in my opinion. At first they became friends who kind of had small crushes on each other, the way that normal people do. You see someone attractive, you're like, I have a crush on them. And they don't even really say the word love until the end of Cinder. That's because Cinder is just like, I need to make sure that Kai doesn't marry Lavanna, so I'm gonna say, oh, you can't marry Lavanna because you're in love with me. How the heck am I supposed to know? All I know is that I'm pretty sure he wanted to date me. And that's like a completely rational thing. And so when people are like, oh, it was too insta-love, they weren't even really in love with each other until like the third book, maybe? Point blank, that's the end. They're not insta-love. I'm sorry. Everyone who says that they are insta-love, I'm sorry, but you're wrong. I'm sorry, I don't make the rules. Cinder and Kai are the best couple in the Lunar Chronicles, point blank, period. I'm sorry. Ooh, let's get controversial. Becky Albertalli is overhyped as someone who is a fan of a lot of her books. Simon Versus is my favorite book by her. The Upside of Unrequited, I know it's not as good as Simon Versus, but in my heart of hearts, I gave it a 5-star because I am Molly from the upside of Unrequited. And it just means a lot to me personally. So I gave it 5 out of 5. I also gave Simon Versus 5 out of 5 because I like both of those. Leon the Upbeat is where it starts to go downhill. That only got a 3 stars out of me. And most of the stars that I did give it was because of moments that physically impacted me. One thing about Becky Albertalli is that she does write characters that identify with me from the situations that they go through. That scene in Leon the Offbeat when Leah is trying on a prom dress and it doesn't fit her and she's just sitting there in the changing room and she's like trying not to cry. I felt that so many times. Just thinking about it, I'm already tearing up. Then What If It's Us came out and I DNF'd that book. Less than halfway through, I could not. It wasn't good. And it makes me really worried about her next book. I think, honestly, she wrote a really, really good book, and all of her other books have gone downhill since then, with the exception of The Upside of Unrequited, but that's mostly because I cannot see that book in any other way besides 5 stars because of my own personal relationship to it, and I know that that is probably not the most helpful with criticism, but I cannot give that book any less than 5 stars. And so yeah, as someone who is a big fan of some of Becky Albertalli's books, she is overhyped. Ooh, we're gonna get into a unpopular opinion that I have personally gotten a lot of hate over, and that is for Aristotle and Dante discover the secrets of the universe. I see Ari as demisexual, homoromantic. Why, you may ask? People who I know who are demisexual really connected to him. And when they explained how their connection and the way that he acts in the book combine and why they felt he was, I was like, yo, straight up, that sounds valid. Actually, I don't think it'll get a lot of hate on YouTube. It's more on Tumblr where that one gets hate because people will be like, I'm demisexual and I felt really connected to Ari, so I see him as demi-romantic, and other people are being like, what? You saw him as demi-romantic? Well, that's not true. He's just homosexual, and you can't see him as anything other than homosexual because he's really close to Ben, and Ben says that he's homosexual, and so that's why. If you say that he's demisexual, you're homophobic. And I'm like, okay, calm down. First of all, that's not how it works. Second of all, just because the author sees someone some way doesn't necessarily mean that you cannot like feel your own your own personal emotions and like relate to that character in any way. If people didn't relate to a character so much, there would not be so many trans headcanons for Peter Parker in the new MCU, but every single person who relates to that character who is trans and felt represented in that character, honestly, it's okay. And they know in their head, okay, yeah, he's not trans, but I felt a relationship to him. Like he made me feel valid, so I'm allowed to see him that way, and I believe that's true. I see Ari as demisexual because a lot of people who I'm friends with who are demisexual really feel connected to him and the actions that he has. And that's not saying that the author is not entitled to say, I originally wrote this character as homosexual based on my own personal experience. Cool. Well, other people see him as demisexual because of their own personal connections and experiences. Maybe if we were all nicer to each other, this wouldn't be such a big deal. This one maybe actually will get me in trouble. Not even in a joking way that I've said throughout the entire rest of this video of, oh, I'm gonna get in trouble for this. This one may get me in trouble. Gansey and Blue are the better ship in the Raven cycle. And I'm sorry to all the people who ship Ronan and Adam and think they're the best thing since sliced bread. Trust me, I also ship Ronan and Adam. But Gansey and Blue's story throughout the entire 4 books is so well told and so like angsty and so like pull on your heartstrings. And the fan art for their ship is just so good. Literally, there is a piece of fan art of someone drawing Blue and Gansey in the same way that they, with the plastic wrap, kiss from Pushing Daisies, and that picture alone makes me feel more things than, honestly, most Ronan and Adam scenes. And that's not even canon. So yeah, in this time, the straights have got it pretty good with Blue and Gansey, and they're honestly the better relationship. Sorry. So yeah. Unpopular opinions. I hate myself for doing that. Naturally, these are all just my own opinions. I'm not really being serious with any of these. If you disagree with me on all these unpopular opinions, that's completely fine, because they're opinions, and despite the fact that I jokingly talk about how I'm true and how other people are wrong, I don't really mean that. In fact, if you disagree with me, tell me about it. I would love to have a conversation about why I'm wrong. As always, there's a link in the description for where to register to vote. Make sure to have your voices heard in your local, state, federal election. Bye for now.